All right, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Gnoland technical contributor discussions. As per our new tradition, we'll kick things off with the Gnoland digest, and then we'll switch over to demos and discussions. So, Leon, the floor is yours.
Yep. Can I take the screen over? Is that okay?
Sure.
1 second. Okay, I hope everybody sees the screen. So welcome everyone. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for the intro. This week we are going through another GNOME digest, and we're going to get started with basically this. This is the GNOME Connect documentation. So some of you may know what GNOME Connect is. This is a feature that we've had for some time now, but we finally added a little bit more of a detailed documentation for it. So if you're looking to integrate GNOME Connect into a client or a wallet, check out the docs, and you should be able to understand how this works a little better. Thank you to Manfred for writing this out. Then, as you may have seen recently, we've switched out the Gnomod to a new format, which is more flexible and will allow for more or different configuration options. This format is the toml file, so gnomod.toml. And of course, we've added a documentation page on this, which will allow you to understand what's actually happening here. So we have some familiar things like the module. This was the same thing as in the Gnomod, but now we have the GNOME version, which is currently just 0.9. This will not change in the short future, in the upcoming future right now. And then we have draft. Draft is a specific flag that basically disables the package from being imported from into another one, except in Genesis. And then we have the uploaded metadata. This specific flag or configuration option is going to allow you to, when in Genesis, so if packages are in the monorepo and deployed via Genesis, you'll be able to actually set the deployer to your own address. So if you have some packages or some realms that you need to be deployed by your own address, this is the way to do it. Apart from that, we also have added a specific docs page on this, so you can go ahead and read a little bit about the toml file and what's actually available. There's some other options that are incoming very, very soon. Then we have ephemeral GNOME packages. So this is something that isn't exactly new. Most of you know about message run and the way that you can actually execute scripts against the virtual machine. In this case, previously they were stored or used to run under our address run. And now we've added a new type of package, which is just E. So it will be Gno.land /E/ slash the address /run, which would be the new package path under which these would run. So these are not stored in the chain; they're only stored in the transaction that's executing them. But this will actually make it a little bit easier for clients and users to understand what's actually happening on the chain. We also added a bit of docs about this, so you can go ahead and read if you're interested in this. And next, this is Geronimo coming in again with some more contributions. Geronimo's newest contribution is a testing package. So this is package expect, and it's an opinionated take on testing GNOME packages that's based on basically function chaining and semantics. And here you can actually check out a short example on how to do this. So you can expect a value that you got to be equal to 42, right? It's quite simple. So check out the package at p-geronimo-lb/expect. Next, this is a really nice improvement with GNOWeb. Thanks to Alexi, now we can actually display a README within the package on the chain, so on GNOWeb. So in case, for example, p-demo Merkle has a README, you can actually see the README in the GNOWeb render, which is great. And finally, another Geronimo LV contribution. Nice, Geronimo. This is a way now we can support grouping members within the common DAO. So previously, you only had one big batch of users within the common DAO. Now you can actually create a sort of group, which will basically allow you to add roles or tiers or different types of groupings to your DAOs within the common DAO package. And that wraps up this week's Gno Digest. Thank you all for listening and for being here to contribute. And if you want to join the next Gno Digest, please contribute, write some Gno code, make some cool features, and share it with us so we can add you here. Please also, if you guys are in here in the thread or just generally want to share around, please share the tweets, share share what's happening in Gno, because we want to grow this ecosystem. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Leon. Next up, it's Berty with the Gnokey mobile demo.
Okay, so hi everyone. We wanted to show you, so we worked on Gnokey Mobile since a while now. We have the basis feature already implemented. We showed them a while back. However, in the last period, we had some very interesting conversations with Manfred, with Jay, with Alexi. And well, we recently published the application on TestFlight. We're going to share with you the links. So in case you want to test it yourself, go ahead. But we thought to give you a demo right before sharing the links with you. And to give you a heads up, it is very ugly, the application. Basically almost zero UI, and the UX is bad. But we did it on purpose. So we just threw out there whatever we could as fast as possible. So we get your feedback. We already have a ton of feedback from Alexi to implement, which we will get to. But please don't hesitate to share with us any feedback or consideration you might have. And basically that's it. So take it with a grain of salt. That's what I wanted to say in so many words. I'm going to leave the floor to my colleague Yuri to show you the magic.
All right, I'll share here in the chat the best flight for Gnokey Mobile. For this social, I don't have the link because Apple doesn't want to share the link with me today for some reason, but let me script, sir. Window, speed. So I'll screen share my cell phone, so hope that I don't leak my private information, but let's see. Okay. This is Gnokey. On settings, maybe I can reset and delete everything to start from scratch and open Gnokey again. So first screen, you see this banner that advise you to not put your real coins inside this application for now. But in the future, we hope that will be more secure and we will remove this banner. So as usual, we can change the network on top. We have no staging and add account. Remember that we'll, as Constance said, that we'll revisit all the screens. So my first key 5. As we have access directly access to Berty faucet, it's easy to us to send coins to this new account. But if you want to work with no staging, things are more different. So it requires my second key 3, 4. It requires use additional steps. So great. No thanks. Let's try again. No staging. Test. 3. So the idea is to open. Okay. Just the count 1, 2, 3. Okay.
I think the portal loop is looping. That's why it's not working.
Yeah, probably. So the idea is to open a browser here, and you can copy the address, your account address, and you can fund yourself without closing the application. And now, so after creating the account, you now have you are able to enable Face ID. So once you close the application, we can work with Face ID to approve transaction or to unlock the account without password. And yeah, more things on settings. Custom chains, you can disable stuff, but the cherry pick was creating last attempt. Test T. Yeah. Portal loop is looping. So yeah, next time I will demonstrate this app again, because it's looping. Testnet 5. Let's see, testnet 5 or 6. Let's see 6. Test T. No. No, it created but didn't find the key. Yeah, the gods of the demo gods are not with me today. Yeah, I will pass to Jeff. Jeff has more updates on our work. In the app.
Jeff, do you have any updates?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm responding to Milos in the comments. He asked why, how does Gnokey Mobile actually function? And it's on top of a Go code directly from the mono repo, the same exact code which Gnokey on the command line uses. And we don't use the JavaScript implementation. We use the Go code directly from the mono repo because we use the functionality to compile and embed the Go code directly on the mobile. Does that answer your question, Molos?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand why you would need to do that.
So that we use there's an API in the Gno monorepo called Gno.land, and that's a perfect good API for interacting with the code. So since we have a lot of experience with Go Mobile and embedding Go code onto a mobile phone, we just went directly there. This means every time there's a new update from the core devs on the Go code, we can use it immediately. We don't need to wait for it to be implemented inside JavaScript.
Yeah, but I'm imagining like the use cases you would have for Gnokey Mobile is like signing transactions, probably verifying signatures, maybe.
And one example that we're playing with right now is playing with a ledger. And there's already implementations in the Go code for interacting with a ledger. And so we can just use that directly on the mobile. I think it's advantageous to stick with the monorepo, you know, tested and verified and up-to-date Go code. Got a thumbs up there. Yeah, and yeah, and it's, you know, it's more portable, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll cede to, there are some other questions, but of course I always have questions, so I'll wait and see if there's time at the end to ask more questions. Otherwise, that's it from me. Thanks for now.
All right, thank you, Berty. Next demo is from Leo and Paul, the petition website idea.
Hello. So, yeah, can everybody see my screen? Yes, okay. So it was after an idea of Michel to reproduce the change.org website. I don't know if you know it. And this is a petition website where you can sign petition, and yeah, that's pretty it. So reproduce this interface. And so yeah, so we use the new features like forms, like I can write anything there, but it won't work. It won't work because of Adina and the newer version. So I show it there, but I will submit it by hand. So first of all, I have to create my user. So using that register, so I have to do it by hand. Okay. Okay. And then I can submit a petition. Okay. What I did wrong? Alias already taken. I never had this error. Okay. Oh, I think.
I think you need to change the name.
Okay, my bad. Copy paste the wrong command. My bad. Okay, so now if I go to the search bar, I can search for my petition that I named banana, so I can just search for it. And yeah, we can see my petition. So yeah, we can see how many people signed it, the signatures targets, and I can sign it. So it won't work because of Adena, so I have to also do it by hand. And now we can see that I signed the petition, and yeah, that's pretty for now. Anybody have questions?
Good job.
Yeah, great work, guys.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Leo. Moving on to discussions. Samurai team, you had a couple of questions.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Oui.
Okay. So it was mostly about the gnomod private, like last time. Like I have some question about my implementation. Maybe I should do a screen share. Do you see my screen? Up. I can zoom. It's fine. You see good? It's not too small. So my main question was about adding a new private field to make the realm private. And how I did it is when we assign an object, so like object ID. I'm not on the good branch. I add a new field in the object ID, so I did not know it was good or not since all the object ID are stored, and like I had to add a new, like to make a longer string to encode to save the private. So each time an object is created, I make it private or not depending on the realm status. So I had question about this, if it was okay, because the other implementation I had before was to, each time I check for private, to get the package ID from the object ID and retrieve the realm using the store to see if it was private. So I don't know which one is better. What do you think? So this way to store in at the object creation. So when I check in the did update function, that is in realm. The thing is, so here I check if the current object, so the new object assigned is not nil, and after I check if it is private or not, and I do it on all the children. But before, what I was doing is like, okay, I get the package ID from the object ID of the object, and using the store, I retrieve the realm and check if the realm is private or not. So I don't know if you have some insight about this or which implementation is better, or if you see other way to implement it. So yeah, that's my question.
I think either like Morgan or Manfred could respond to this, or even Jay, but not sure they are here.
Yeah, I don't know.
So between has private depths and has private depths with visited, is that right?
Yeah, so the main thing is the difference between this function, just to check, because since I check all the children, I want to stop if there is self-referencing object, like so to avoid Stack Overflow. But it's the same function, just so this one will create a map and empty map and use this function. Yeah.
I mean, okay. Generally, for this pattern where you have a visited set, often you can just get away with using a slice, and the slice is more efficient anyway to check.
Okay.
Because otherwise with the maps you need to also put a defer to remove the object from the map, which I don't think you're doing here.
No, I don't remove.
Yeah, and so that means that if an object is encountered for a second time, so say that you have a pointer to an object and then you have another pointer to the same object in like a struct, then you know that would not visit it. That would not visit it again, and I don't think that's what you want, right? We want to detect like only when it's circular. Is that right?
Yeah, but I mean, if you already saw an object, even if it's not circular, anyway, like that means we already check what is inside, you know. So I think it's like what I want.
Okay, so for this case, maps is okay. Whether to use an object as a key, yeah, you could use an object. You could also use the object ID. Well, okay, but it may be. It could be Sorry, what stage is this? Does it already have object IDs, or could things here be Unreal?
Excuse me, can you repeat? I didn't.
I mean, what stage do you check this in? Could things be Unreal in the stage you're checking them, or are they already real?
The thing, if they are unreal, I think that means it's not because the point of private is to detect if it's a reference to an object that is private. So I think if you create, like, because Unreal is a, if I understand good, is a new object kind of. So that is just not yet attached to a realm. So I think if it's Unreal, it cannot, because it's at the time we assign an ID. So I think if it's Unreal, it doesn't have ID yet at this moment, because it's at a segment.
You're doing, okay, sorry, you're doing this in did update. We cannot do it. We cannot do it in did update because did update needs to be fast. Because it's run so many times so that we cannot put it there. It should be in finalized realm transaction. Because that's where we can do things which are slower.
Okay. Because I looked at this function too. So I can get, because here it's a new created, but I'm not sure, like the new created is like if I assign something that is already created, like I don't know, you have your tree equal a pointer. That pointer is like a param of a function, like you pass a pointer. Not sure I have access to it here. Maybe I can add it. I don't know. Because it's like not a new object. It's like just a reference. So I'm not sure if we have new reference here. Come on, okay. Okay. I can try to look to make it happen here. Because I was thinking indeed. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
You go ahead. Sorry.
I was thinking like indeed update, it's maybe good because it's used at all assignment, like each time we assign something. But I agree it's called a lot of time. So I can try to make it in the finalize, but I'm not sure to see how to do it because like I'm not okay. I mean I have to try. Okay.
So yeah, I mean you need to do it transversal anyway. When you do finalize, generally you're finalizing the realm object like a package, and then you're finalizing all of the items which are either updated or new created.
Okay.
And so you go through those items and you check which ones are running away. Actually, one thing that you could do is that if you're like one thing which may be easier to do in general is that when you're exiting a boundary of a private realm, you can just check what is in the new escaped, because new escaped contains like things which are owned by the private realm which have gone to other realms, and so that is precisely what we're looking for, right? Things which are going elsewhere which shouldn't go elsewhere, because things in private realm should stay where they are. So maybe that's one thing you can do, which would be cheap and inexpensive.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I will look at this. Thank you so much for your helping and explanation.
Sure, anytime. Also, like, yeah, if you have any questions on this, That was just my idea, but if you want to continue the discussion, tag me. Maxwell is also really good in this, but he's in a different time zone, so generally he's not on these calls, but he's really, really helpful.
Okay, it's noted. Thank you so much.
All right. You
And I
guys
think
also
that's
had
good.
another question?
Yes, hello everyone. So this was just because I was doing some test, and I kind of found like an issue. I'm not sure, but I just wanted to share with you to know what you think. I can share my screen, but I don't know if that would help. It's just an issue I put on the hackend. Well, I will show very quick my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yep.
So what I found is like maybe I'm not sure, because as I put on the issue, I'm not sure if this is the contract we are currently using, but for example, when I try to register a namespace, my namespace is first wallet. Then another wallet is able to push a contract on that namespace. So I'm not sure if this is expected or not, but yeah, I found that. Just wanted to discuss with you what you think. Maybe I'm not seeing something, or maybe I'm mistaken, but yeah, I saw that.
Leon said in chat he will investigate.
Sorry?
Look at the chat.
Okay.
Yes, so basically, no, this is not expected, and I know that we have tests that cover this case, so if you don't have a specific name, you should not be able to publish to that name. Again, we have tests that cover this, but maybe something has changed in between when this was actually working and now, so I'll dig into this and see what's happening. The GNO code hasn't been changed, so it must be something related to either the keeper or some other part of the pipeline for publishing.
Is it possible that test 6 doesn't require, like, doesn't have the namespace check for some reason?
Yeah, it can be enabled actually. It should be enabled. So maybe it's simply not enabled. Does that mean you can publish or anything you want? That would be a thing.
Okay. But the contract is the good one, right? Like users V1.
It should be, yeah, I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but to check. The V1, the package that for this is like the R6 user. In my opinion, if it's not like if you can deploy on anything, that means like simply the R6 is not enabled. The R6 user. Maybe. Not sure why. Probably because it's not in the toggle thing is not in the Genesis.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
This brings us to the end of the agenda. Does anybody else want to bring up something? Jeff? Go ahead, Jeff.
At the unmute. We're starting to experiment with Ledger support. I have a Ledger Nano, and it works great from the command line with Gnokey. And let me share my screen real quick. Entire screen. And we added it to GNO native, which means that apps which are built on top of GNO native can do this. Create ledger sounds fancy, but it really means ask the ledger for the address of the key that's already on the ledger and create a local reference to it. Of course, we're interested in mobile. So the question is, it's all built on top of this code, which is this Ledger Go library. This is inside the, this is referenced from the monorepo. Ledger Go works great if you have a USB connection on a laptop. The question is, what is the vision for doing this from a mobile? And this is all in the context of session keys. So the idea is we want Gnokey Mobile to create a transaction to create a temporary session key, but to get the ledger to sign the transaction to authorize a temporary session key. There's two possibilities. One is that the mobile somehow interacts directly with the ledger, maybe through a USB cable, to sign the transaction to authorize a session key. The other one is that maybe the intention is not to have the ledger connected directly to the mobile phone, but to do something like a QR code or something that transmit the transaction to a Mac, which is, or an offline air-gapped computer, which is connected to a ledger, which will sign the transaction, which says, yes, authorize this session key for the next 10 days or something. So the big question is, the monorepo uses this repo, which talks to the ledger through USB. The one reality is where we expand this, where we can embed this on a mobile phone, and now it will talk over the USB on the mobile phone or Bluetooth or something else like that. Or is the idea that if you want your mobile to have access to a key, it should do something through an air-gapped process like a QR code? So that's my general question of what the vision is. Maybe it's too big of a question without Jay and Manfred here.
Yeah, I think so. Also because the latest news I got is that we're not fans of Ledger anymore. So
you're not what?
I mean, there's been some contentious stuff about Ledger lately, and so I don't know if we actually want to invest, like, actually want to go further with the. Oh, this quantum private experiment will write physics.
Are you talking about going with Trezor, or are you talking about not doing hardware?
Trezor mostly, I would say, as far as I know from last time I spoke today. Anyway, yeah,
that would be great. Right now, Trezor doesn't support Cosmos keys.
Yeah, but they might soon. Anyway. Sorry,
Well, that would be great. I'd love that. That would be great. The question is still the same. Is you know, our use case is we want Gnokey Mobile to eventually get a session key, right? But it needs to request a session key. So it needs to send a transaction somewhere to be authorized to authorize this session key for 10 days to interact with some app. Is the idea that the mobile phone would somehow interact directly with a hardware device on which your primary key is stored, on which you authorize a temporary session key directly with the phone, or do we always want to think about an air gap solution where you somehow send the unsigned transaction through a QR code or through SSH or something to a device which can sign the authorization? Maybe we don't know, but we're just we're at the point where we're asking this question.
Yeah, I mean, check the chat. Militia said that most implementations work by connecting the ledger device directly to the phone. That's what Militia said. But I guess this is more of a question where Manfred and Jay haven't been up to speed on this conversation.
Yeah. So my phone, the iPhone I have right now doesn't even have a USB-C connection. So would the idea be to find some library which can, what is that connection from the phone? Is it a Bluetooth? Is it a USB? Is it only works on Android? Or it only works on a modern iPhone which has a USB connection?
I know that a lot of ledgers support both USB-C but also Bluetooth. So
does this library support that? The library, we're trying to follow the monorepo code.
I haven't looked at I don't know if the library supports the Bluetooth.
If that's a goal, if that's a use case, then we can. We with our work with Berty Messenger, we have a lot of experience with Bluetooth. Also, maybe we can contribute an enhancement to this support library to do that. This code is in the Cosmos repo. I don't know. So the question is that a reasonable goal to maybe support Bluetooth from the mobile from this? Well, of course, this is all in the context of the fact that our code is built on top of Go code, even if it's embedded on the mobile. We're using the same base code that the monorepo uses. So my near-term project is to, I have an Android phone which has a USB port. I'm going to check to see whether this code running on a mobile will talk to the USB port and sign something on my ledger. But ultimately, we may want to support Bluetooth. So I'm just asking the very question, what is the future trajectory of interacting with Gno from a mobile? I suppose you should be able to somehow connect your Bluetooth supported ledger to your mobile and sign something. And to do that, we would want to update the Go code, which is already used to support Bluetooth. Is that a crazy idea or not?
So my guess would be, I think there's a discussion happening in the chat. I just joined back in the meeting, so I don't have the full context in the chat. But my guess would be that this library on Ledger Cosmos Go was mostly designed with the common line in mind, right? More than mobile development. So I wouldn't be sure that it actually supports like being used the mobile straight away. Also because I think it uses a direct interface to the hardware, which I would imagine on Android is at least somewhat, well, on both on Android and iOS to be somewhat different to access than what library uses. I think what we really ought to do with Ledger is to reuse what implementations exist using Java or Swift for Android, rather than try to use Ledger Cosmos Go directly. So try to implement it more at the, let's say, native code level rather than the level of the Go code.
Sure, that makes sense. Ultimately, we want to create a key-based entry for a ledger reference, but we could do that by going through another level. Ultimately, what we want is to create a key-based entry that somehow will know how to, when you use the rest of the app and it's just doing all the other operations which require a signing based on the key base, we want it to wake up whatever interface is necessary to do that signing.
So I would say like it's fine experimenting with this, but I would recommend you to have like a rock solid base before tackling like these kind of things. Like everything else should be, on my opinion, like super smooth, super fluid before tackling like and super secure before tackling like the ledger part or even the Trezor one.
I'm not sure what you're saying. What should be super secure?
No, I mean like the rest of the application, the base should be like should be finished, in my opinion, before implementing this kind of feature. It's fine experimenting, of course, but before having like the ledger one, you should be really sure like everything else works perfectly, especially the base.
Well, the base would be after we have an API for the session keys, because the whole goal of this is for the app to create a session key and sign it with your master key on your ledger.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. After having like the session key, session icon as well.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's why I say like it's fine experimenting, but not having, I will say not having this before having like the session account and everything else as base.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just experimenting, but we're looking at the ways in which we need to access a ledger device. Yeah. Okay. That's good enough. Stop sharing. That's good. Thanks for the feedback.
All right, we're almost at time. Last chance to propose a discussion topic. All right, it's a wrap. Thank you all for coming. See you again in 2 weeks.
See ya.
Bye.
See you. Goodbye.